Bronte, welcome to the Marketing for Business podcast.
It's great to be back. Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here because, look, you're the brains behind our marketing. You're what makes our marketing tick here at Digital Influence. And I think you've got some good questions that business owners should be asking leading into the end of the year and then jumping into 2026. So fantastic to have you here.
Thanks. Yeah, well, I mean, a big part of my role here at Digital Influence is I get the privilege of sitting down with business owners who don't necessarily have the skills or the capacity to look after their own marketing. But that being said, that means that there's a lot of missed opportunities. And so the biggest thing I kind of see when I get to sit down with those business owners is that they've really got a lack of visibility around what they're actually doing with their marketing.
Yeah.
And given that it's coming into the end of the year and Christmas time and everyone's kind of thinking about their new marketing strategy for 2026 and what they're going to do for next year, I think it's really important to think, what can we do next? But I think looking back at like what you've already done is really important too. So I've actually written down a few questions that I think every business owner should be asking themselves before the end of the year.
And let's like get real here. Like you sit in 90 to 2 hour meetings with business owners that really like they're so busy doing the whacking and the cracking of their business. Marketing has become one of those things, and it's a foreign language, right? Marketing is a foreign language, just like what they do is a foreign language to us, right? So
Yeah, totally.
you sit in some of these meetings and I think, 40, nearly 50 odd meetings building these reports, you look at a lot of people's marketing. So you actually get to see a lot of people's marketing and you get to ask them questions. So you've got a really good insight into this. And this is one of the reasons it was kind of cool that you wanted to do this, right? So what are these questions?
Okay, so the first one I've got is what actually drove results this year?
Yeah.
So Scott's got a great saying.
Yeah.
It's success leaves clues.
Clues, totally.
And I think it's, just so important that you actually look back at what you've done because, I mean, you have so many, especially if you're a business owner who's not necessarily a marketer and you're trying to handle marketing yourself, you've probably tried to do a million different tactics in 2025 and just tried to see what sticks.
Yeah. That's hard, right?
Yeah, but if you're not looking back at what actually worked, then like how are you going to move forward with an intentional strategy for 2026?
Yeah.
So I guess if we can what I'd like everyone to do is dig into their analytics across all of your different platforms. So Google Analytics for your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your social media campaigns, your SEO, everything, and see what actually drove results for you.
What people need to look for?
What are they looking? It's important too because a lot of people are probably thinking that vanity metrics, for example, like likes or impressions on a post is great results, but what actually drove leads or dollars into your business? So purchases. So say you're an e-commerce business, what actually delivered results for you, in terms of purchases? So was it Facebook ads or was it Google ads?
Is it fair to say that when you start looking at Google Analytics and all that type of stuff, most people haven't got it tracking right? What percentage would you say out of all the people that you've looked at this year, how many people have it set up properly?
Most people.
Most
people don't have it set up.
Yeah, most people don't have it set up correctly. So I would say one of the best things that people could do for themselves going into 2026 is spend some time and actually just pay some money to someone to set that up correctly for you first, because data is king, and data is king and queen when it comes to as we move more into AI and more into technology, the data you get back is going to be so important. So I would put a line in the sand and go, hey, all that sort of stuff, if I haven't tracked it properly before, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to go and pay Digital Influence or a company like ours and get your analytics set up properly, because without it, you're kind of flying blind in this marketplace, because competitors who have this dialed in, they know how many leads they get. They know where those leads come from. They know actually how much they're paying for the lead. They know how much they're prepared to pay for a lead. And all of a sudden, they're going to spend more money because they have confidence in their marketing. So I think, look at those results, but go, hey, actually, what are those? How do I get better results? Well, you get better results by better tracking.
Yeah, totally. Because, we completely understand that it is a very like high level and
it's very confusing. Yeah.
Like even me, I look after our own marketing, but you actually can't be an expert. Even a single marketer cannot be an expert at everything. So relying on other people, for some of those things that you're not an expert in is really important.
Yep.
But I think it's an absolute must having, tracking set up back to your lead forms, back to your purchases on your website, because otherwise you've got absolutely no idea what's working.
Yeah, and that's where marketing becomes frustrating and not knowing. And really it can be a simple fix, some things that you can do with analytics, linking them all together. There's a few fields and all, really geeky stuff that I don't do.
Yeah. But for the people who do it, it's such an easy fix. Yeah.
And then it's about reporting that, getting that better, clearer reporting. So making sure people can explain it to you, right?
Yeah. And I think a good example, of what actually drove results, maybe like in our business, for example, like we know that we put money both into Google ads and Facebook ads, but because we lead with such a video first strategy and having Scott and the sales team and all of our team on camera and kind of building that know, like, and trust, we know that we get most of our more qualified leads coming through Facebook.
Yeah.
Because it kind of disqualifies people as well at the same time when over video you're talking about who you work for and the types of things you do.
And who you want to work for.
Yes, who you want to work for and stuff like that. So we get most of our qualified leads through Facebook. So that's a great insight for us going into 2026, because then we can put more ad spend into those strategies that work.
Yeah, and we know what's worked because you start to see the leads coming in and you start to see the quality of the lead coming in and you go, oh, okay, that's a different lead. Yep. That's a different kind of business. That's a different level of business. But and the hard part here is it does take time as well. So look, you need to start tomorrow because it does take time to get it going. But we know now, like people when it comes to marketing, I think people are more cautious, right? Yeah. And choosing a marketing agency, they're cautious. Maybe have been burnt before. Maybe they've tried some stuff, didn't work because once again, they weren't tracking or they didn't have a clear message. They didn't have a clear reason or didn't have a clear offer. Mm-hmm. So they're a bit gun shy of it. And I know we get this comment all the time. Oh, we're sick of seeing you guys everywhere, so people see that it's obviously working because we haven't just started yesterday. We've been doing this for 10 years now, but we really ramped up our marketing over the last 2 years. We know that consistency of messages, that frequency of reach starts to penetrate, so we become more relevant, right?
Yeah, totally.
Great question.
Yeah. And I guess that's what's going to work and drive results for your business is going to be completely different depending on your industry. Like some industries really benefit from that high intent Google search sort of thing. It's so personalized. So I guess you won't know what's going to work until you try it.
We've seen that for clients. We've got clients. I think all of our clients, they don't just do one strategy, and I think that's really important. That's something I've seen change over the years. People that used to just do AdWords now are doing AdWords. They're doing content. They're doing video. They're doing meta ads. They're doing LinkedIn. They're not just doing one thing because I think the days of that have gone. But I think it's really important that you know where most of your leads will come from. Most of your qualified leads will come from, and what media that is, and making sure you're in front of that channel.
Yeah, and that's the key is qualified leads. Yeah. Or say if you're an e-commerce business, it might be that those really cheap things that are selling off a certain tactic, but it's the higher value purchases that are coming from another tactic that, then you can funnel some more budget into that. So I think having visibility on both what leads are coming in, but also then, meeting with your sales team and actually discussing like the quality of those leads. Because that's the only way you're going to kind of.
So true. Talking to a business owner the other day and he'd hired a lead generation to and when I hear that, I cringe because I know it's that churn and burn model. Like a lead generation company to generate leads, right? And that's what he wanted. He wanted more leads. In the end, he actually self-educated himself on some marketing, and then he did it, and then he realized, oh my God. So he was phoning these leads, and these leads were like, who, where, what are you? no, I didn't want that.
Or they brought.
And basically he was buying them from this company who was getting them from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So he got rid of that and he started doing more educational-based marketing. All of a sudden his lead quality has gone up. And now we're doing a lot more educational-based marketing with him, and he's going to be better. So you got to be careful. Make sure if you're buying leads or getting lead generation that you're talking to those leads yourself for the first however long you need to, but ensure that you're getting quality, because it's a big loophole too.
Yeah, totally.
What's the next question?
The next question is what wasted time, money, or energy? So I guess it's important to know as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about the money. It's also your energy. Because certain tactics, especially if you're trying to execute by yourself when you're not an expert, may take up a lot more time. And if it's not kind of worth it for your business because you're not kind of seeing some of the results from that, then I guess what are those tactics? Can we stop and funnel your energy and your money into somewhere else that's working?
And that was the conversation he had with me. He said, like, this lead generation company promised a lot, but he says, it's not the money, it's my time and energy that I'm wasting there. And that's what was really annoying him. Yeah, that's a great question. Like, really audit, okay, what's wasting our time here? Like, are we spreading ourselves too thin in some areas? I can tell you without a word of a lie, every business owner should be doing some sort of video. That's not a waste of time. You on the camera, one of your team on the camera, a spokesperson on the camera, talking to camera. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. This is the best way to do it, right? So if you've given video a go and it hasn't worked, well, you just haven't given it a long enough go. What else do you think, Leo?
But I think on that, just jumping in, I think it's really important to also note that organic video, for example, is not going to be a direct lead generation tool with nothing else being done. It's a nurturing tool above all.
Strong point.
And so that's where it's so valuable is people see your ad or, they see you on Google search, and then they're nurtured a few days later with your videos. And they're, the more they watch your videos, the more they learn about your process, the more they can see your expertise coming across on camera because you're sharing valuable insights. So it's so important in that regard. So I wouldn't, even though we're looking at what wasted time, money, or energy, I think we need to remember that some tactics are great nurturing tools and they won't always be driving direct leads or sales, but they are definitely a part of the sales funnel and will be contributing to some of those results that you're seeing.
Well, it's all part of marketing, right? Like, it's all part of that, building that know, like, and trust. And people, they want some insights, but also at the same time, and I think also that's where you got to have that mix, right? Because some people go too far on the branding side and then have no performance side. Or then some people go too far on the performance side and no branding side. You got to have that happy medium. Another good question. Really audit where you've been wasting that time and energy.
So is there anything in your business that you think for these two so far?
I think,
drove results this year, and then what wasted time, money, or energy?
What drove results? Definitely video drove results, the podcast drove results, having, a salesperson drives results. I guess, one of the cool things is we do a lot of video. We do put out a lot of content around, what we've been doing. We're not shy of sharing, and I think that's really, really, really important. If anything, we could probably be more direct with the podcast, and I've got some ideas of how we could do that in 2026. But overall, pretty solid.
Okay, then we've got number 3. So, is your brand showing up consistently and clearly? So this is so important. I mean, I would just go in and audit your digital presence across. We've got so many touch points now. We've got websites, we've got social media accounts, and that's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube for some businesses. And for a lot of businesses, all of those different touch points are important. It depends on your target audience, of course, but I guess making sure that it feels consistent across all of them will build that know, like, and trust, that recognition.
I would love it if every business owner I met would just sign up for 12 to 18 months and trust us, because I see the results change over 12 to 18 months. That is the hardest part, is getting your brand to show up consistently and clearly. If you have a consistency of message for frequency of reach become relevant, you become relevant over time, you win because people start to know you, people start to like you, people start to trust you. As long as you're putting out good marketing and you're clearly telling your story and who you are, where you are, what you have to offer and why people should buy from you, you will win.
Yeah.
The trouble I think most people have is they don't get that quick win enough, and they give up on building their brand, or they stop themselves because maybe they don't think they're worth it.
Yeah.
So they quit too early. And I think if you could just,
that instant gratification a lot of the time, you get across lots of different things.
And I think when you look at someone's, like, be proud of your business, be proud of your brand and market it, like, but don't give up on it after 6 months. Like, really start to work hard, and I think if you do that in 2026, you're going to set yourself up, halfway through the year, 6 months in, you're really going to start to see a different type of business coming in and different lead flow coming in. And what cracks me, and like you probably see this all the time, is people aren't utilizing the tools they have available to them today, the free tools.
Yeah.
Like, we live in a world where this is a podcast that's going to go out on 2 channels, 1 video, 1 audio, and then it's going to be syndicated for free. Like, what? Like, it's crazy to me that more businesses don't do this.
Yeah. I think another thing what I see quite often in strategy sessions as well, is people just kind of not being really clear on what they actually want to say to their target audience. Or maybe they've got a third party, like an agency or a freelancer helping them at the moment, and their messaging across their channels just isn't consistent with what they actually want their business to stand for and be known for. So I think a part of, thinking about that question about showing up consistently and clearly is it aligned with where we kind of want to be next year? And is it speaking to the right target audience too?
Yep. What is that message that you want to get across?
Right? Yeah. And that's a big part of the strategy sessions that we do here at Digital Influencers, fleshing out that messaging, because we have a lot of business owners come in and they, we ask them what makes your business different? What messaging do you kind of want to be known for or get out to the marketplace? And they really have no idea.
Yeah.
And
that's not their fault, by the way. It's not your fault. Like,
no, but sometimes it takes an outside perspective to kind of do some digging around and ask some questions, and then the gold kind of
the crazy part about it, the gold, because and I always say, and I learned this from a guy, our coach actually, Lynn Askin, he said, you can't see the picture when you're standing inside the frame.
Yes, yeah.
And so many business owners, and look, I've been there, we stand inside the frame and it's like we can't see the gold that's inside the picture because we're inside that frame. And I think that's the beautiful thing. I always love hearing you guys coming back from a strategy or having it in here, and you hear laughter and all that sort of stuff. When the breakthrough happens, people actually have business owners have some really good things, and if they just get out of their own way to allow someone else to help them unlock it, amazing what comes out. Because I always say to people, you're one conversation away from changing your business, and it could be one question away.
Yeah, well, I would love to say that it's us sitting in strategy sessions going, this is what you should, this is what you're going to be known for, and we're just making it up, making up these cool things that these businesses are doing. But no, they're genuinely doing some really cool things that really sets them apart, but they just aren't leveraging it because they're so in the day-to-day of running their business, and it just goes straight over their head.
Yeah, you do that? Oh, wow. You should share that story.
Yeah. And I think it's also, thinking about what the target audience wants to hear, like getting into that frame of mind too. Like, they often can't get into that frame of mind of thinking about what the pain points are and what's important to the consumer, whereas we can offer an outside perspective into what some of those things that people need to hear to make that purchase decision.
Yeah, so good.
Now, number 4, another question I think you should be asking yourself before 2026 is, where are we leaving money on the table? So I guess it's easy to look back at what worked, but what are we maybe missing?
So some of the common things that you guys see.
Well, I think even things like, are we following up our leads fast enough?
Yep. Guilty.
Yeah. Are we nurturing our, leads when they cut, or just people that visit our website. Like just really simple, cheap, things that they're just overlooked, you know?
So simple things we could be doing, but could be using some form of AI to follow up leads. We could be using some form of retargeting, which is basically if someone comes to the website, then they see us on Facebook, then they see us on Instagram, then they see us wherever, like a simple that to stay top of mind, definitely companies could be doing. A lot of companies aren't doing that. The crazy part, and I was talking to a guy about this the other day, I said, look, one thing you just need to get good at is creating content and then let the algorithm do its thing. And I think this is one of the big takeaways I got from going to the States. No one does targeted advertising in the States. They all let the algorithms find the people and test this.
It's moving.
You test it. Go and look for a spa on your phone and tell me you don't get 10 other spa companies showing up. That's why you have to have a clarity of message. You have to have a really, really good offer. Because the algorithm's job is to put you on a shopping list. Your job is to have a clear message and a good offer so people know, like, and trust you and want to buy from you.
Because, Facebook will take that job of trying to find the right people for you quite seriously, because if people are seeing ads that aren't relevant to them, they're not going to stay on that app.
And they start to drill into your copy. They start to drill into your ad, your pictures. They start to look at your website. They start to look at everything.
And so that comes back to that message, is it still aligned? Making sure you're really digging into what that
so important
audience wants.
And I think leaving money on the table is part of that, right? If you don't have that, part of your game sorted, you're missing out. Because your competitors will, and they will get the lead flow. They will get the majority of people seeing them, which means you get ignored.
I think it's even, missed opportunities at even the smallest things. Like I literally only 15 minutes ago got back from a strategy session, and they were talking about how Google reviews, for example, are just, for people who had a terrible experience, and it's just people that complain that are on there. And I said to them, well, we tried to explain the trust element in that and how people actually take Google reviews really seriously when they're making a purchase decision. And that if you're not being proactive with asking for Google reviews, of course, only people that have a terrible experience are going to go and leave one. Because if you don't ask, you don't get.
Totally.
So really small things like that. Like they were blown away by the advice that I just said. You're leaving gift baskets, when people buy a new house off you. Why don't you just add a little card saying, we really enjoy, hope you love your new home. We would love it if you gave us a Google review with a wee QR code. And they thought it was rocket science. They were like, wow, I never thought of this. But this is the little missed opportunities.
Totally. Well, you've just built a relationship with that customer for 9, whatever, how many months it takes to build a house. You give them this gift basket. I would be having a camera by then. I have the film crew there filming them. But that's great. Small hinge, big door. Why don't I ask?
Small hinge.
But what about you just asking, right?
Yeah, and that after they've done that for a few months, and they've built up, say, maybe 30 Google reviews, or however many, that probably brings you up to 5-star average.
Totally.
And you've got 30 odd Google reviews plus, a few bad ones buried at the bottom. And that's going to make such an impact on when people are making that purchase decision, especially for service business.
Totally. It'd be quite a good checklist to have, which is are you leaving money on the table checklist? We should create that. Well, we could create that. That'd be quite a cool one to go through, right? Where are you leaving money? Where are you leaving money on the table? We could keep adding to it, I reckon. That'd be quite a good giveaway, because that's such a, that thing there, you talk to them, the one thing they could do. Now, they might build 100 houses. Let's say they get those 30 reviews. That's game changing, right? And if you don't do it, guess what AI is going to look at? The negative reviews. And guess what AI is going to say in years to come when you're
not going to recommend you.
Not going to recommend you, right? So you better start taking it seriously. Nice.
Yeah, totally.
I think where we leave money on the table is following up our leads. You know, like we could definitely have a 24-hour salesperson, and we are going towards that. But I think that I would want that for every business to have the ability to have some sort of communication happening to people that are, you know, asking for us after hours.
Yep, totally. Number 5. So we've got what is our theme?
Our theme is Thrive in 25. Own it, elevate it, celebrate it.
Yeah, so I guess I would love everyone to kind of look at what they could own. So this is what we're doing as a team at Digital Influence. We're looking at what we can own in our role, what we can elevate, and what we can celebrate. But I guess then you could look at what you need to change as well. So what in your role do you need to own more? So what do you need more accountability around?
Yeah.
So maybe for us, it's accountability around making sure some of those leads are followed up a bit quicker and building some sort of system to make sure those.
Which we are.
Yeah.
You know, being really clear, hey, we need to own that more. We need to actually elevate it. It's not the best service we can provide by not following those up. So, okay, what technology can we use? Or that one, let's implement it.
Yep. And then we've got elevate it. So what's already working that you could optimize, scale, or systemize. So I guess for us, we know like our video ads are working, but you know, what could we do to be more creative?
Well, if you look at some of the stuff that we've done this year, or you specifically have done, right, to elevate our marketing, right? Okay, cool. We had a website that was okay, but it wasn't that next level. So you took it on yourself to get it elevated. So we've elevated our website this year. Inside that, we have video testimonials. We've elevated those this year. We've looked at our case studies. Okay, how can we make better case studies? Because every business owner, every business should be creating case studies. How do we elevate those? So we've elevated those this year, you know, all those areas. Okay, we're in your marketing or in your business. What are 1, 2, 3, 4 areas, and assign them to everyone. Hey, your role this year is to elevate this part of our marketing. Your role is to elevate this part of the business. Whatever it is, have someone focused on it and give them accountability for it.
Yeah, everyone in their own roles should be able to pick things that they need to own, they need to elevate. Yeah. And then there's things they need to celebrate.
Totally. Yeah. Well, and that's the coolest part. Like everyone comes to work to do good stuff. Get them owning it, get them elevating it, and then help celebrate them.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, I mean, the case studies and the testimonials that we've started implementing this year in particular is a great example. So, you know, instead of just doing written testimonials, we started getting our content team to go out on site with the clients and capture them on video. And the results we've seen from that is so awesome.
Once again, though, comes back to asking.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
You know,
if you don't ask, you don't get.
Don't get.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised what people are willing to do for you.
Totally. Do a good job for people, they'll look after you.
Yeah. And I think that in particular is such a valuable tool for, you know, like when you think about the marketing funnel, you've got the top of funnel where, you know, awareness, where you need to be talking about your product offering and your services and different things like that. But like lower in the funnel at the bottom, that's where people need to hear social proof and things like those Google reviews and client testimonial videos and client case studies is so important. So placing those sort of assets in there for people to see is such a good opportunity. And that's something that we're going to probably elevate next year because going back to question number 1, what worked this year, that worked really, really well for us.
Yeah. And also, like, we know we can elevate it, right? Like, we know that we can make them better. It drives us to get better results for the clients because then we have a better story to tell. So it's a win-win-win.
Yep. And then I guess like the podcast in particular, like that's something like we could elevate next year as well.
I have some great ideas on that, and there's some things I learned when I was away in America, and I was like, oh wow, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. But at the same time, I wish we'd done them because we've got 160 episodes, and I had to look it back, and I was like, oh my god, all those opportunities we've had. But anyway,
changes so quickly, though.
Yeah, no.
But I get that's a really strong point. Is like you don't know what is possible to elevate.
Well,
until you see other people doing it.
We don't have any ads on our podcast, right? And we should have an ad.
Yeah.
And it should be for who?
Business owners.
Digital influence. Because what's that report that we give away that we get like 20 like leads coming in a day?
Yeah.
You know, we should be promoting that report inside the podcast to give it away to people.
Yeah.
Because we get leads with it every day, and we should be advertising it on our podcast so more people get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, little things.
We'll comment. You comment lead magnet and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's about AEO. So, you know, artificial intelligence and how to actually get recommended by, you know, every artificial intelligence being in the world, basically, for your business to really, really grow. You know, we're going to have an ad. So might even already be in this one. You never know. What else? How do we wrap this up? We've got time to reflect. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's really important for everyone to go through these questions, including yourself.
Yep.
But even if you just run through it yourself, or you could even get your team involved.
Yeah, I think we're going to.
Yeah, I think you need to, because how are you going to know what worked when you've got, you know, people sitting in different roles? So everyone actually should be able to do it for their own roles.
Yeah.
In your business.
Yeah.
So, for example, in our business, we've got Google ad experts. They should be able to sit down and go through their processes.
Yeah.
And their, you know, what the work they're doing for clients and answering these questions themselves. So it's not just applicable to the business owner surrounding marketing. Yeah.
That's so good. Like, I know each of those questions we could take all of our team through, ask them, get them to rate themselves to some degree, find out. And I think this is one of the important things, one of the things I've learned over the years is employ smart people and get out of their way, but also ask them for feedback, right? Well, okay, where could we be going better? Where could we, is our brand in your mind, are we showing up consistently?
Because you're really standing in the frame.
You're standing in the frame. You know, where do you think we're leaving money on the table, you know? And where do we need to own it and elevate it and celebrate it or change things even more? Like, there's so many good things that can come out of those discussions. And I know we've got a day set aside for this at the end of the year before we go away on Christmas break. And the cool part about that is we then bring that back into our team day at the start of the year. So, you know, taking time to reflect and taking time to look at where we can be better is good for everyone.
Yeah. Because I think if you don't take that time to reflect, like, how are you going to think that 2026 is going to be any different?
Yeah.
If you are just going into 2026 doing that exact same thing as you were doing in 2025.
Well, the reality is it's not.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's not. It's going to be ho-hum. It's going to be either a little bit worse or just same, right? So what would you say to a business owner that really wants to crank the handle of their marketing in 2026? What would you say to them? Where's the best place to start? You know, we asked all these questions, you know, and they're sitting on the fence about coming and having a chat with you guys about getting some real clarity, you know, a high performance review done. What would you say to that person that's thinking, hey, maybe this sounds like a good idea. What should I do?
I think it's a good idea for any business.
Yeah.
So I think if you'd love a clear outside perspective on, you know, what you're currently doing and, you know, how to achieve your goals that you've got for 2026, then come and do a strategy session with myself and Renee on our team. And what a part of that process is we do a bit of a sit down for a strategy session. We map out kind of your goals, your target audience, your key messaging for that target audience. So what are their pain points, that sort of thing. What media do we need to get in front of them on? And then we map out that whole before, during, and after process. So all the way through to you know, how you're nurturing clients once they've become a client, because that's marketing as well, right?
Yep.
And then we kind of go away, discuss we've got experts in all the different things in digital marketing. So Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, content, all the things. And we're able to put together, based on those findings that we discussed in the strategy session, put together a strategy for you to move forward with in 2026 to actually move the needle this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's the perfect time to do this sort of thing, because you can start 2026 off with a bang.
Yeah.
get straight into it.
Yeah, don't get to April next year and go, oh, I should be starting to do some things, right? The best businesses we know get very, very clear on what they want to achieve, get very, very clear on how they're going to achieve it, and get a plan. Like without a plan, you like the actual before, the during, and the after dance of marketing. If you just got clear on that and those 9 quadrants, man, your business would be so much stronger. Your communication would be so much stronger. And look, I've been doing this long enough now to know that it's hard to do this yourself. So get people that are experts that do this, see this, to actually help you. The best part about it is actually quite fun as well. Like, you know, it's not something that's really, really boring. And I know heaps of people come in here and they really, really appreciate it and have fun with you guys, and are blown away by the quality of the report. This is not some cookie cutter report that like is just created out of, and everything's the same.
It'd be a lot less time.
Yeah. I know how much time you guys put into it because it's bespoke. It's bespoke for the business.
But it needs to be.
Yeah, and it looks at everything you are doing or not doing and in a friendly way. And I always, when we started this process, I challenged everyone, hey, this report will be so good, you can tell the business owner they can implement it themselves. They can go away or they can give it to another agency and they can implement it, or they can ask us for a proposal to do it.
There's no commitment.
We stand on that. You know, we're so proud of these reports. They get it done for the business owners that really want to get it done themselves. So one conversation away, that's all I say. And look, you could be one question away from really making a breakthrough in your messaging as well, which is fantastic. Yeah. All right, Bronte, this has been a great podcast. Thank you for coming on. It's been great to have you back. I'm pretty sure we're going to slot this in before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it's good timing so people can make those decisions. What's one last piece of wisdom you'd like to give people? Have a social committee?
Yeah, no. It's too much work.
Too much work?
Yeah. No, I'd love to see you in a strategy session.
Yeah.
So come and do one with myself and Renee.
Nice. All right, I've got one piece of advice. Knowledge is power, but action is the actual key to your dreams. Without this, without taking some form of action of what we've said today, whether it's going through these questions, and the questions will be in the show notes, you know, go back through. But without it, you've just heard some noise, right? Go and take some action. Go and do it yourself, or just contact Bronte and the team and we'll help you do it. So go out there and trust me, 2026 is going to be a year where you start to see businesses really grow forward or go backwards. There's going to be no middle ground because the way technology is changing, there is coming a time where it's separation season. Don't want you to be part of that. You want you to be part of on the other side. So appreciate your time. Have fun. Hey, if you know a friend or a business colleague, please share this podcast with them. We've been getting some great people sharing the podcast. We've been getting some good download numbers too, and consistently in the top 5 for marketing for New Zealand, which I'm really, really happy about. And I know Bronte is really proud of that too. It's so good to see people sharing, people tagging us, people telling me about the episodes they've been listening to, and what's been helping them. So really do go and share the podcast. Until then, go on, have fun, take action, and as always, celebrate your victories.